What up, world? Established Rich coming right back at you. Listen to me and listen to me good. Michael Jackson was not just a star, he was a strategist. When people talk about him, they talk about the king of pop. But when I talk about him, I think about the king of power. He didn't just break records on stage. He bought the very system that made the records.
Sony/AT Music Publishing is a music publishing company co-owned by the estate of Michael Jackson and Sony.
Michael owns 50% of all country western music. He owns 63% of Dolly Parton. He owns 50% of Charlie Pride. He owns 50% of Bob Dylan. He owns 50% Moon River. 50% of that song's his. You see, look, just read him some of the names in it. He owns Babyface. Who is that?
Beyonce Knowles.
M&M's. And it goes on and on and on. You see them others there you recognize?
Boys to Men, Bon Jovi, Brenda Lee, Brian Harvey, Brian West, Brick and Lace, Bright Eyes, Brooks and Dunn.
And it goes on and on and on. That's just the bees. And if all this was sold today, the estate would probably get between 40 and 50 billion dollars.
We talking about 3 million songs. A catalog so big it made corporate America nervous. The Beatles, Bob Dylan, Duke Ellington, Elvis Presley, even future greats like Taylor Swift. If you sang it, if you loved it, there's a good chance that Michael Jackson owned it. Listen, the blueprint started with a conversation. Paul McCartney, yes, that Paul McCartney.
And one of the things I said to him was, think about getting into music publishing. And then he looked at me kind of, I thought he was joking. He said, I'm going to get yours.
Oh, yeah.
So, I kind of thought, oh, you.
During these collaborations, Michael learned from Paul that you could buy other people's catalogs because Paul purchased Buddy Holly's catalog. So what does Michael turn around and do? He purchases the Beatles catalog.
I mean, I don't think Michael Jackson's at fault here. If you have all that money and you're able to buy the Beatles catalog, do it.
McCartney felt betrayed when Jackson licensed the Beatles songs for commercial use. McCartney believed that the songs should be treated with more reverence and not used for commercial purposes. McCartney made several attempts to regain control of the Beatles catalog, but he was unable to do so during Jackson's lifetime.
This pretty much effectively ended their friendship, and understandably so. I'd be pissed. But I bet Paul really regrets giving him that advice.
He showed Michael the power of publishing. He told Michael the real money was in owning songs. Not in touring, not in merch, but in the copyrights themselves. Most artists nod and keep moving. But Michael listened and learned. He turned that conversation into action. In 1985, he bought the ATV catalog for $47.5 million. And inside that catalog, the Beatles songbook, Lennon and McCartney themselves. Do you know how big that is? The greatest white pop band of all time, controlled by a black man from Gary, Indiana. Michael didn't just buy the Beatles catalog. He kept expanding. He acquired rights to Bob Dylan, Duke Ellington, Joni Mitchell, even Elvis Presley songs, even modern artists like Taylor Swift. So while teenagers was belting out Love Story, Michael was collecting checks behind the scenes. 3 million songs means universal power. No label, no artist, no genre was outside of Michael's influence. And here's what made Mike different. He didn't exploit it. He didn't slap the Beatles on every commercial. He didn't water down their legacy. He held it with respect. It wasn't about milking it. It was about owning it. Now let's talk about what people whisper. Did this level of ownership put a target on Michael's back? When you, as a black man in the 1980s, own the Beatles, when you control more songs than entire companies, you're not just an entertainer anymore. You're a threat. By the 1990s, he merged his ATV catalog with Sony. Sony ATV became one of the most powerful catalogs on earth. Michael Jackson, the individual, was outpowering labels, and labels do not like to be outpowered. So the question stands, did his ownership, his business brilliance, make him too powerful to be left alone? Look at the timeline. He dies in 2009. By 2016, Sony gets full control back. Who benefited? Certainly not Michael. And let me make this clear. When we talk about great moguls, people throw out names. Jay-Z, Master P, Diddy. They built clothing lines, liquor brands, labels. But Michael bought the music itself. Clothing can go out of style. liquor can stop selling. But songs last forever. Owning a song yesterday is worth owning 10 liquor companies. Owning Bob Dylan is worth more than 10 clothing lines. So ask yourself this. Who really played the music business game better than Michael? Let's not be stupid. A black man from Gary, Indiana owning the Beatles, a black man controlling 3 million songs in the 1980s in a system built to exploit black talent. You think that didn't burn them up inside? You think that didn't create enemies? He was not even supposed to have that power. And he damn sure didn't deserve to keep it. So now let's end this with the biggest question. Is Michael Jackson the greatest music businessman of all time? Not because he sold the most, not because he was the biggest star, but because he owned the most, because he controlled what others could never touch. 3 million songs, a catalog worth billions. Even if they took it back after his death, the fact that he did it, that he won the game, that can never be erased. And I'ma sum it up like this. Michael Jackson is not just the king of pop. He was the king of business. And that just might be his greatest legacy of all. But hey, that's just my opinion. What's yours? Like, comment, subscribe. Established Rich. I'll be back with another one. Peace.